Good morning. Happy Monday, middle of May. I shared for you, welcome if you are new. Thank you so much for jumping on. We are going to get right to work. And you are welcome to share this with anybody. We have the live calls every Monday morning at 9:30 Central. We then have a recording that you may post and share with your teams, but the more the merrier. You're welcome to invite. We have a messenger chat. So if you are not in there, let me know, message me, and I can add you. But this morning, I shared a podcast with you guys because there's zero way that I can pull out all of the details and lessons and information from an hour and a half podcast here in just 10 minutes. So we are going to hit like just a few of the basic highlights for our Monday motivation this morning. And really, it's really been so helpful for mindset. So you guys know, if you've been around any amount of time, there is skill set and there is mindset. And depending on where you are on your journey, the percentages will probably vary for what you feel like you need to adjust, focus time on. Like, where do you need to adjust the percentages of skill set versus mindset, which we're going to talk about just briefly. And again, if you're just jumping on, welcome. I always love hanging out with you guys on Mondays. But the podcast, I really want to encourage you. So full disclosure, I'm only like the first 48 minutes into an hour and 20-minute podcast. I listened to it on my walk this morning and I'm just like, this makes so much sense. So mid-month leading up to convention month, we just finished our contest. Some, big dates ahead are looming for some people, whether it's July 31st for, a really big rank up, or if you're just getting started and you really want to go silver this month, or you just want to overcome your fear of, oh my goodness, like I don't even know what this is that I'm doing. And I really just want to share and help people feel better. Wherever you are, the podcast that I shared, I just feel like is so universal, but also foundational. So a few big things that I want you guys to think about, listen to, write down. I don't know if you guys are a notebook and a pen kind of person like I am. I have my mindset and Bible study notebook. I have my training notebook. I have all the things, all the pens, big, bold, the cheapest are the best pens you will buy for a good note taking. But I really want you to think about these three questions, and it really kind of hinges on the book that we talked about last time that I sent a link for you guys about vision. But I want you to think about these three questions. Number one, what do you want? The amazing thing about that question is there is no right or wrong answer. Depending on where you are in life, what you want for where you are right now, it could be very different from what I am working towards. Now, this in general life, I think is really important to get specific on what do I want as a wife? What do I want as a mom? What do I want for my family? What do I want if I'm single? If I'm in college, like what do you want? And I think that there needs to be a pen to paper moment for what is my life? What is it going to look like? Because nobody's just accidentally going to stumble on achieving all of their hopes and dreams. Okay. So number one, what do you want? Number two, why do you want it? And we could do a 3-hour masterclass on developing your why and have it mean something so deep and so significant that the cliche is true, that your why will make you cry and that your why will be your driver. It will be what gets you up in the morning and pushes you outside of your comfort zone enough that you are going to do the hard things. You are going to do things that feel scary. You are going to learn new things, all of the things. You have to know why you want it. And it cannot be superficial. When we did a Jewel training years ago, we talked about the fact that your why has to have at least 7 layers to it. So if you say, I want to be debt free because I want to give my family, the best life. That's as generic and vague as it gets. Well, why do you want to give your family your best, and greatest? Well, because when I was growing up, I didn't have that. Okay. Well, What did that mean for you? Why is it so important that you give your kids something that you didn't have? And if you just keep asking 7 layers and levels of why, you will finally get to that deep rooted, just that it is a motivation that burns in your soul that no amount of objection or rejection will stop you, slow you down, or sideline you. Okay. What do you want? Why do you want it? And here's the key. How are you going to get it? Because I guarantee you, if you're on this call or watching this recording or been around this profession for any amount of time, you've answered the first 2 on some level. And maybe the how is where you're sitting right here and you're like, well, that's kind of where I'm stuck. I don't know how I am going to achieve X, Y, Z. So in this podcast from Ed Milet, he gives like these 4 simple steps, and I'm going to read them to you, but I'll give you a few examples. But it's exactly the same as what I've been sharing as the plan, do, review, adjust. It's just in a different order and a little bit different. So I will pull this out for you if you don't have an hour to listen to that podcast today. He says the first thing you have to do with anything is you have to evaluate. You have to say exactly those 3 questions. Where am I? What do I want? Why do I want it? There has to be a moment where you evaluate and reflect and just say, okay, today, May 12th, is the day that I decided I'm not where I want to be, all of those things. There has to be an evaluation process because we can't just walk in circles. The second thing is you have to get so intentional and specific. I guarantee you anybody that has hit a rank in this company has gotten very specific about this is the goal I'm setting, this is how many pay points I need, and this is the date I want it by. And they're so driven and focused and intentional that they know, okay, I am going to have to do this. And it's, we're going to keep on going to number 3, which is there has to be a strategy. There has to be a plan. You just can't say, I want huge things and wonderful, ranks or whatever the case might be, and just, again, accidentally cross the finish line. I promise you, if you talk to anybody who is trained for a race and they say, I'm going to run a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, they are like, okay, what does the course look like? I'm going to get intentional about training. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to do my long runs. I'm going to do my short runs. They know where the finish line is and how they're going to cross it. And they are super strategic with what that training looks like. So the 4th thing is you have to take immediate massive action, which is why we show up to these calls, which is why we chat about what are we doing, how are we doing it, and all the things. Now, the example Ed Milet gave, which I thought was amazing, is 2 years ago, he didn't even know what a podcast was. And now he has the #1 business podcast in the world right now. So he didn't know that he needed a microphone. He didn't know how to record it. He said his first one that he recorded, he didn't actually record. He just talked into the microphone for 30 minutes and thought something magic was going to happen. Once he figured out how to record it, he didn't know how to get it to his computer. He didn't know how to upload it to a software to put it where other people could listen to it. So when you take immediate massive action, the how are you going to get it? How are you going to achieve this? That's where we filter. And some people will rise to the top in, I'm going to read a book. I'm going to find a mentor. I'm going to get a coach. I'm going to watch a YouTube video. My dad is one of the most amazing people. If he doesn't know how to do something, he's going to watch a YouTube video and learn how to do it and figure it out and do it himself. Like, I've never seen anything like it. He doesn't call the guy. He decides he's going to be the guy. And it doesn't matter what it's for. You name it, he does it. I'm going to build a chair. Well, you've never built a chair before. So I'm going to buy the plans and watch YouTube video. Anybody can figure it out and learn something new. So that's where I want you guys to understand. How are you going to achieve your dreams? How is this going to happen? That is where everybody listening now, anybody who watches this, you have to decide, where am I and what am I going to do to get to where? Maybe you need to read a book about leadership. Maybe you need to learn about people skills. Maybe you need to go to some counseling and kind of work through some things that keep showing up for you just in this space that have nothing to do with your network marketing business, right? There are different levels of things that we need to learn for the how, but the bottom line is, on this Monday morning, Monday morning, any day that you decide to show up, you have to Evaluate where you are, get it super specific and intentional about where you're going, develop a plan, and then take immediate massive action. And that looks like reaching out, expanding your network, following up, enhancing your people skills. There are so many things, but I want you guys to understand that if you are focused and are hungry to learn and grow, you will find some level of success in network marketing. Now, the encouragement that I want to give you, encouragement slash call to action, is that we are in a unique space in time where we can show up and decide we can have as much or as little as we want. As entrepreneurs, whether this is your hobby, whether this is your side gig, or whether this is your career like it is for me, network marketing is one of the very few spaces where you can say, I am going to change something today, and I'm going to accelerate my speed. I'm going to increase my number of repetitions, whether it's in reach outs, follow-ups, whatever the case might be. And you can put your foot on the gas pedal towards where you want to go and exponentially have an exponential increase in outcomes and results. And let me tell you what I mean by that. As a nurse, working 12-hour shifts, punching a time clock, I had a set hourly rate. I had a set amount of overtime that I was allowed to work. There are only 24 hours in any given day, right? And it was a boxed in amount of, if I were to say, I need $800 more. Like after all is said and done and the schedule is filled out at work, I need $800 more this month. If I had already worked my shifts, if I had already exhausted the outcome or the overtime, availability, I'm maxed out. There's nothing else I can do there with the time restraints and the dollar for hour exchange that I was making. In network marketing, we can put our foot on the gas and we can increase. You guys have seen this. You guys saw all the new emeralds and sapphires, and everybody that promoted last month, actually the last 2 months, have been dramatic in people saying, I want more and I want more faster. And I am directly in the driver's seat. I am in control of making that happen. So I can go from I'm just casually sharing and reaching out to people to I'm going to spend 2 hours a day and I'm not getting out of this chair until I've talked to at least 50 people. Do you guys see the difference there? Do you see that we have the opportunity and the ability to not be capped at our exchanging time for dollars, at punching a time clock? The same is true for my husband. He is, burning the candle at both ends. He's like, we've got big goals. We've got big things happening. We got 3 kids who have big goals and we want to help them with big things happening. And there's only so much overtime that he can work. I'm like, you have to sleep and eat sometimes, right? So I want that to fuel your hunger and your desire to get focused about what you want, why you want it, and then how am I going to get it? When I was a baby network marketer and knew absolutely nothing, I didn't sit around and say, oh, dang, I don't know how to do this. I was like, what book can I read? What video can I watch? There weren't any videos, so I would read a book and then I would make a video. Like, hey guys, I didn't know this. I just learned this. Now I'm going to share it with you, right? And I just started like top network marketing professionals and names started popping up. I'm like, maybe if I message them, they'll answer me. Guess what? One of them did. You might say, well, I don't have $10,000 to invest in coaching. I didn't either. And I was like, hi, I don't know anything. I just read your book. It was wonderful. Thank you so much for putting that out there. And I actually got a response. My first network marketing business mentor and coach coached me for free first through the book that I read. Every book that I read, I took as this author is speaking and coaching and mentoring me personally. And I made it feel special. Like they wrote this for me. They wrote this to me. So I don't want anybody here to say, well, I don't have an upline that's teaching and training me. Well, I'm just not on a team that's going to give me a reward for if I actually show up for a book club or whatever. You don't need that. There's a lot of us out there that don't need that or have that, right? You just do it for you because you're hungry, you're focused, you're motivated, you've evaluated what you want and why you want it, and you just figure out the how. You figure it out any way you can. There's books. We're 14 years later than when I started, and I promise you, there is a resource, a podcast, a reel, something that is going to teach you what you need to fill in those gaps. Now, where this podcast got for me was at the very beginning. I'm kind of reverse engineering it for you at the very beginning when it said, what differentiates the successful people from the unsuccessful people, or what differentiates the winners, is those who do the 1% every day that moves the needle forward, that isn't sexy, that isn't glamorous, that isn't mountaintop moments. You know, when I'm out there walking 2 miles a day, it's whether I show up rain, shine, 100 degrees, whether somebody asked me to or not. It's the showing up daily and consistently, which anybody will tell you that. You just have to keep showing up and you just have to keep going. So I promise you, if you are looking left and you are looking right and you're like, they're farther, faster, there's some behind the scenes work where there's somebody who has written down what they want. They've identified why it is they want it. They have gotten so laser focused with that desire to, you guys, and it could be I have to put food on the table. Like it could be we've paid all of our bills and I don't have anything left for my car payment. Like there are some pretty desperate things that some people can be motivated by, or that could grow. I've probably had 20 different whys in my 14 years of what gets me up and motivated to show up to do the thing. Now, full disclosure, I'll do this power hour, I'll do this thing and I'll click it off and I'll post the video and I'll be like, oh, awesome. Wasn't that a great day? I didn't do any work. I have to sit down. I have to get my butt back in a chair and go follow up with 10 people and reach out to 20 more people, right? And actually do the thing. Be consistent at the taking immediate and massive action. So I want that to be a little bit of a call to action for you guys. And a huge note to self. You guys usually just get to be in my brain with what I'm learning and how I'm processing through. Well, dang, no, I'm probably going to have a really hard time signing 12 people this month and getting that $800 bonus if I haven't actually invited anybody to a challenge or to a Monday night Meet Plexus call, right? How many of you are still showing up for every single Monday Meet Plexus call and showing up with a guest, right? I will say I haven't missed any Monday nights, but the last 2 weeks I did not have a guest. And that's probably because I didn't invite as many people. So my odds didn't show up as I have some. And they're amazing. It's being done for us. And if that wasn't enough, go get in the Plexus Academy page and you can look. You have a whole week worth of all kinds of new calls that you can show up to and log into and all of the things. So we have great incentives. We have great bonuses. We are rocking and rolling towards an amazing convention that's being planned. It's going to be here in 1 month now, 4 weeks away. Get registered, get there, bring a friend, share a hotel room with somebody, bring an air mattress, sleep on a floor with somebody. It is going to be incredible. And I do think it's going to be pivotal for where we are and where we want to be with trying to figure out, why am I investing time in this beautiful network marketing profession? And it's because you can learn a skill, you can figure it out, you can develop what you need to figure out the how of, here's what I want in life. And here's why I want it. Now I'm going to go out and make stuff happen. So that's your summary of that podcast. I hope you guys invest the time to listen to that. If somebody were to ask you, what are you listening to and what are you reading right now? And you just stare blankly at them because you can't answer it because you're not listening to something and you're not reading something, that has to be step one, to take immediate, massive action. There is so much knowledge out there at our fingertips that we can learn anything we want to learn. We can succeed at anything we want to succeed at. So we just have to try. So does anybody have any thoughts? I didn't even look at the chat. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, all the thing before I stop talking and we are going to get to work. As always, you know the drill. I don't have the screen share for you. It's mid-month. I know I have a bunch of people who were new last month that did not order with a subscription. So today is the day to make sure that everybody is on track with where they need to be for the products and that we get subscriptions set up for them so that they can be consistent with their products. I have a lot of people who are post-reset who need to just be checked in with and getting on their combos for whatever they ordered for to follow up with for their combos. But how many conversations are you in? Who are you talking to? How many are you inviting to what? Have a goal, have a plan, get strategic. We all have a finish line and we need to just get rocking and rolling. So I'll be here for any questions or anything, but we're going to work together for the next 10 or 11 minutes and then we will rock and roll with our week. Okay, friends, happy working. Thank you so much for jumping on. I just dumped all of the questions and all of the things in our messenger chat. You can add anybody that you need to. Let's rock and roll. I'm excited to meet you guys all. See you at convention. Let's all celebrate our wins and our goals and all the things in June. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.